Hi, my name is Laine Meeske, and today I'm going to walk you through a reputational risk plan for Spotify. Scenario planning is about preparing for the future, being ready for the worst case scenario, and planning for every scenario in between. For Spotify, which is a digital platform that operates all over the world and faces public scrutiny from artists, users, and investors, and the media, managing their public reputation is crucial for keeping the brand successful. Today, we are going to look at all the different factors that shape Spotify's reputation, what different scenarios they may encounter, and how they can prepare and respond accordingly. Today, I'm going to take a closer look at the reputation risks and opportunities that Spotify faces as it continues growing, especially with its use of AI in music, how it plays artists, and how it handles content on the platform. Spotify is known for leading the way in streaming, so while all of the innovation brings exciting changes to build the brand, it also opens the door to challenges that could impact how artists, users, and the public view the company. This assessment is meant to help Spotify think ahead and prepare for possible reputation issues in the short, medium, and long term. This will help guide smart decisions moving forward as the company keeps expanding into both the music and technology industry. Let's start by identifying the three major forces that currently influence Spotify's reputation. These three factors could lead to crises if they aren't managed well by Spotify. The first major force influencing Spotify's reputation is data privacy. Spotify is a digital platform that collects tons of user data, such as what we listen to and how often we stream music. Users are becoming more and more aware about how much data is being collected and how that data is being used. The second major force influencing Spotify's reputation is artist compensation. There continues to be concern among emerging artists regarding the low compensation they earn from publishing their music on Spotify. And lastly, the third major force influencing Spotify's reputation is the use of AI in music. Spotify has begun using AI to generate playlists and voice translations for podcasts while also experimenting with other AI tools. This is causing the public to ask what happens to human creativity as well as voice concerns about copywriting issues. These three factors are shaping how users view the brand, which is why we will be analyzing these factors to build realistic scenarios. I am now going to discuss three possible future scenarios. In the best case scenario, Spotify becomes a leader in using AI responsibly. They find new ways to support artists, and they receive praise from the public. This will allow them to build stronger partnerships with creators, earn trust from their users, and boost their online reputation. In the most likely case scenario, Spotify continues to get mixed reactions on how they compensate artists and handle content, but overall, the platform continues to grow steadily. It's not all good news, but it's not a crisis either. Users will continue to use the app, but they will also keep pointing out issues with the app. Lastly, in the worst case scenario, a major crisis will occur. Spotify will receive major backlash from the public over data misuse or controversial decisions regarding content. In this scenario, users will leave the brand, artists will protest, and the media will elevate the crisis. This is why planning for the worst case scenario is important. Planning will allow the company to respond quickly and effectively in the face of any issue. Now I'm going to break down Spotify's vulnerabilities, which are areas where its reputation is most at risk. High risk areas are content related controversies such as misinformation and polarizing figures, as well as perceived mistreatment of artists and unfair algorithms. Moderate risks are privacy and data use policies, and low risk areas are platform issues and tech outages. Knowing these vulnerabilities will help Spotify focus their energy on their weakest areas. Now, let's take a look at how Spotify can respond to each scenario with the right communication strategy. In the best case scenario, they can celebrate their wins. They will be able to team up with artists, share good news stories, and keep the positive publicity going. This is where you can really build brand loyalty with the users. In the most likely scenario, Spotify needs to be upfront. They can admit what areas need work, share improvement updates, and respond to criticism quickly and effectively. It is important to get across to the users that you are actively listening to their concerns and addressing them effectively. And lastly, in the worst case scenario, Spotify will be able to activate their crisis plan. They will apologize quickly, explain how the brand is going to resolve the issue, and take full responsibility. The quicker the company puts out a response, the higher their chances are of mitigating the risk of the crisis. When dealing with all four different stakeholders, it is important to note that different groups care about different things, so messaging needs to be tailored specifically to each group. There are four stakeholder groups that should be prepared in advance to a reputational risk. The first group is the media, and they should be prepared with ready press kits. The second group is the users of Spotify. They should be equipped with in app and email messaging. The third group are the artists. They should be supported via artist support groups. And the last group of stakeholders are the investors. They should be informed with scenario based briefings. The media wants clear and quick responses to report back to the public, while users want accountability and a plan of action. Artists want to be treated fairly and have open communication with the brand. And lastly, investors want stability, and like the users, they want a plan of action. Preparing messages in advance for each stakeholder group allows Spotify to respond quickly in the midst of any crisis. I am now going to discuss some milestones and flashpoints. Spotify operates in an industry that gets a lot of attention from users, artists, investors, and the media. Due to this, there are 5 top reputation challenges that Spotify is facing. First is the use of AI. Spotify is using AI to form playlists and use voice translation, but it's raising concerns about copywriting and the loss of human creativity. The second challenge Spotify is facing is artist pay. Many emerging artists still feel underpaid and want more transparency on how they can expect compensation from Spotify. Next, there's content regulation. Previous issues like misinformation shared in podcasts have shown that people expect Spotify to take responsibility for the wrong information that is spread on the platform. Spotify also faces rising competition from other streaming services such as Apple and Amazon. The next challenge is data privacy concerns. For example, Europe has more tech regulations while the US is more focused on free speech. All of this shows that Spotify has many opportunities and risks that need to be managed carefully. There are 2 recent cases that help show how fast reputation risk can escalate in the music industry. The first case is the Joe Rogan podcast controversy. Spotify faced major backlash and artist boycotts over misinformation shared in the podcast, which shows how unregulated content can impact how people view Spotify. The next case is TikTok's partnerships with AI music companies. This sparked a controversy about human creativity and copyright laws. Both cases demonstrate how difficult it is for digital platforms to be innovative while also taking accountability. While handling risks will always occur, Spotify has a reputation opportunity to make a positive impact if they handle risks with transparency and accountability. Spotify has the ability to position themselves as an ethical tech leader. This would allow Spotify to set the standard for how to use AI responsibly in the music industry. Spotify can highlight how they treat artists fairly by gaining the trust of artists through increasing pay transparency. Lastly, Spotify can show a commitment to content by censoring content per app rules and regulations. These 3 actions can improve brand identity, attract new users, and build trust with users and the artists. I am now going to discuss the Reputation Risk Register. This is a table that lists all of the potential risks that could affect Spotify's reputation as they continue to expand into areas such as AI music. Each risk is evaluated by how likely it is to happen and how big the impact would be if it did. For example, the key risks include public backlash over AI music, replacing human creativity, continued criticism over low artist payouts, and possible content moderation failures if misinformation continues to be spread on the platform. This register identifies risks and helps Spotify prepare for them. By keeping this register updated and aligned with scenario planning, Spotify will be able to remain proactive whenever a risk makes its way out to the public. Now, let's discuss Spotify's scenario planning for short, medium, and long term in relation to how reputational risks can unfold over time. Short term risks would appear right after Spotify launches a new feature, such as AI generated music tools. If not announced effectively, Spotify could receive backlash from artists, users, and the media, accusing the company of devaluing human creativity. Medium term risks may cause Spotify to face backlash from different directions. Regulators may start asking questions about data usage or algorithm privacy. At the same time, public backlash could escalate, especially if high profile artists speak out against the company. Long term risks can occur if Spotify's AI tools end up hurting traditional music careers. This would cause a loss of trust from the artists as well as users and the media. The reputational damage this would cause would diminish customer loyalty, artist partnerships, and financial outcomes. This is why it's important to evaluate not just what could go wrong, but how to plan for it in advance. I am now going to identify the 3 major forces that currently influence Spotify's reputation. These three factors could lead to crises if they aren't managed well by Spotify. The first major force influencing Spotify's reputation is data privacy. Spotify is a digital platform that collects tons of user data, such as what we listen to and how often we stream music. Users are becoming more and more aware about how much data is being collected and how much data is being used. The second major force influencing Spotify's reputation is artist compensation. There continues to be concern among emergent artists regarding the low compensation they earn from publishing their music on Spotify. And lastly, the third major force influencing Spotify's reputation is the use of AI in music. They are using AI to generate playlists and voice translation for podcasts. This is causing the public to question human creativity and copyright issues when it comes to AI in music. The last step for a company is monitoring early warning signs. To do this, Spotify should track shifts in social media sentiment, movement among regulatory bodies, artist movements or calls for unionization, sudden changes in user engagement, and spotting these signs early allows Spotify to act and respond before a huge crisis occurs. In conclusion, planning for each scenario allows Spotify to stay ahead of any reputational threats by anticipating possible challenges and preparing authentic responses for each stakeholder group. Scenario planning helps turn what ifs into tangible steps for future action. For any brand, including Spotify, reputation isn't just about avoiding risks, it's about preparing for them in advance and being ready for whatever comes next. Thank you so much for listening.